Hey, let's go in on this, y'all. It's yours truly once again. Love is definitely about communication, verbal reciprocation. So when it comes to love, that's highly important. So when one isn't verbally reciprocating to you, that could indicate their lack of love or their struggles with it regarding you. Why is it such a challenge for them to have communication with you if they say they love you? Remember, love is about communication, verbal reciprocation. So, communication is a form of a love language. You also have other nonverbal aspects of communication. But I say all this to really say that it still represents some type of reciprocation in it all because something has to be reverberated. There's truth to when one isn't getting in anything back, as well as when one isn't getting anything put forth. Sort of life threatening, but one can say love threatening. That's the better word I want to say. When there really isn't that communication, aka verbal reciprocation, taking place. And then, of course, there's deceptions in the communication too. So you have to watch out for that as well. You have to watch out for when there's deceptions in the communication, because that still can mean that there isn't true verbal reciprocation. There's something that has been contaminated in that communication. See, something has caused some type of poison to seep in that communication, because that's really what deception is. It's a toxic form of communication, if you think about it, right? Because there's still verbal reciprocation, but there was deception. So all this time you're thinking someone is being loving towards you, and the whole time they weren't. So all this time you were getting feedback or input from someone that wasn't being truthful. So to me, that can lead to a lot of poisonous things over time. You know, that can lead to just things slowly dying off because the reciprocation was not real. And then, of course, this leads to things just not being natural. It becomes more artificial upon you unraveling and discovering what was being done in the first place, like behind your back, underneath, read between the lines of what one says and what they doesn't say and what they don't say. What happened to just keeping it 100? Because to me, that represents definitely love being that communication, aka verbal reciprocation. You just keep it 100. People tend to think nowadays keeping it 100 is just telling people what they don't want to hear. And what I mean by this, because yes, you want to obviously tell the truth in love, and not necessarily tough love, as some people like to say. But what I mean is when a person is just unfiltered with what they say, and you just have to accept what they say regardless. Like, there wasn't them even being considerate of you. Like, no one's perfect, right? So people just say what they want and how they want to say it. Like, they don't care how you feel. They just feel like they're expressing themselves. But once again, express themselves without any expression of you, without anything of you in mind. So there's a lot of that I think goes on, and that's why like a lot of communication seems off when people are actually conversing with each other, even when it comes to this thing called love. I think really love shouldn't be even mentioned if there isn't even good communication amongst you two. And I think that comes with the good chemistry as well. Like, chemistry will determine uh if love will even be possible between you two. And you can kind of know off the bat, like, just kind of how y'all vibe, how the communication is going to be. And it's something that you have to fine tune. People might think you're crazy for it. Oh, well, and maybe some people are, but maybe some people aren't, because if you're just still trying to like actually work through it, like, hey, let's try to see what we can make of this versus uh, us just not able to make anything of it. I think there's hope there. I think there's truth there. I think there's possibility. But most of us, when we get around each other, we get more paranoid. We get more of this delusional aspect of the other person, and we don't even know them. We just assume things about them. We make people out to be things they're not. And thus, our communication already starts off negative. Already. Like, I mean, what happened to the greet? Like, hey, nice to meet you. How come it can't continue to be nice going forward? Well, guess one realizes I'm not going to be able to love you. I don't think I'm going to be able to have that kind of love for you. So let's just stop this communication. Let's stop this conversation. So and that's why most people just would rather not talk, because I'd say this: most of us realize that we can't even love each other because a lot of us just don't have that kind of chemistry for each other, because a lot of us are just not in tune. The way this world operates now, a lot of us going to be even more out of tune. And I think that's just because we want things right now. Even a good saxophone needs time to be tuned before you can play it in a orchestra. People want everything more electronic now. Just it has to work right. Even electronics have to be tuned now. Like you got to understand that. So you can't shortcut it. You can't shortcut a relationship. You can't shortcut a connection. You can't shortcut communication, or just cut it short. But that's what most people do, and that's why I think there's not a lot of love out there. People cut things so short, yet they expect things so long term. Doesn't quite work that way. Nevertheless, thanks a million for stopping by.